AuthorTube is a YouTube niche that's all about writing. Every year, new writers consider starting their channel to grow a bigger platform and find an audience. But as years go by, many people feel like everything has been said and done. Some have abandoned their author channels because they felt restricted to the more popular video and topic formats, or they don't know enough about writing craft to give advice, or they fear judgment of obnoxious elitists who believe the only person qualified to give writing advice is Neil Gaiman or something. Whatever. Many struggle to come up with new video ideas every week, and burnout is a real problem around here. If you feel like any of this, or you hear someone else struggling with these problems, come back here or send them this video. Huge thanks to everyone who has supported me on Patreon or Ko-fi. I share the same exclusive content on both platforms just to give people the choice. Your support means so much to me. Thank you. I could just give you the list of ideas and call it a day, but I think that's misleading and shallow, so welcome to my in-depth suggestions. The best way to build a cohesive and sustainable YouTube channel is to think long-term and make a plan with your content calendar. If batching videos is difficult, at least preparing multiple scripts and coming up with concepts and then preparing each video when the time comes will still accelerate the process, and you'll always know what you're doing with your platform. aka less stress and less rushing to publish whatever. As usual, before you start adding ideas at random, you have to do some self-reflection so your platform makes sense to the viewers. Let's stop this surviving my YouTube channel mentality and start thinking about the audience for each video. Every single video that you publish could be the first impression to someone new, or a catch-up moment for someone who, for whatever reason, hasn't seen your videos in a while. First impressions matter. So here are a couple of things to consider before I start with all the video ideas. Who do you want to be as a writer? Do you want to be the writer who has a YouTube channel or a YouTuber who so happens to write books on the side? The key here is to decide what is your priority, books or videos. What can you create? Consider the type of gear and software you have at hand and your skills on using that tech. What are your credentials? You don't need a college degree to start a YouTube channel. This is about your current knowledge, skills, and experiences, and this isn't limited to creative writing. Then you have to think about your platform itself. What is the goal of your channel? Find readers? Monetization? Using it as a portfolio? Something else? You can have more than one goal or evolve into other goals as time goes by, but it's important to have a reason and goal for your channel. It will keep you going. What do you want to be known for? Is it your charming personality? Is it that you have a ton of knowledge to share? Is it that you want to put your strong opinions out there? Maybe you just want to share your writing itself and be known for your shorts and poems. Totally valid. You have my support either way. What you need to know here is the impression that you want to give to the viewers. Branding and themes. This will also help accelerate the creation process, and it will help viewers identify your content among everyone else's. A color palette is a very basic start, but when you also have defined ideas for your lower thirds, your end screens, and all the visual materials, once you have it all set, creating videos is going to be a lot easier. Now that you have a clearer picture of your channel, these are the 3 aspects to consider when preparing each video that you publish. Think of this like every video is a bird that you send out into the world with a message. Now you know why I'm featuring birds. Thank you for tolerating my strange symbolism. First, every video has to bring some form of value to the viewer. And don't worry, this isn't limited to writing advice. Value comes in many flavors, and there are some overlaps between the types of value depending on how you craft each video. I'll explain everything in more detail soon. Then you should also think of the longevity of each video. You want to balance this out for the benefit of your channel and the algorithms and such. Finally, think of the type of audience that you'd like to attract. It is true that we cannot control who watches our videos, but we can craft each piece with an audience in mind. You don't have to create videos that cover every subcategory of the 3 aspects. This is a guide to help you create a coherent plan unique to your AuthorTuber needs when you start placing topics on your content calendar. Types of value. These are credentials, educational videos, nourishing your community, entertainment, and overlaps between all of it. First, we have videos that help you build credentials. I don't like the word authority. To me, this is more like sharing your acquired knowledge with those who find you. Your own writing. Nothing speaks louder about you as a writer than your own writing. But of course, you won't publish an entire audiobook for free. Flash fiction, short stories, an excerpt of your first chapter, or the first chapter of your upcoming book, poetry, it all adds up. Even this video is a piece of my non-fiction writing now that I script and make fancy videos. Sharing your writing gives the viewers a taste of your style, the themes that you write about, and much more. Next are in-depth discussions, the main type of video by a well-known author in the community. Maybe you've heard of Diane and her channel Quotidian Writer. Her video essays are of great quality and informative on a variety of writing-related subjects. Every writer I mentioned has a video on a playlist I made, so you can watch all these examples for yourself. I'll share that at the end. If video essays aren't your forte, well-researched presentations are an option. Hi, I'm doing that right here. Another great example of a research presentation is Writing Vell's video analyzing the spirits of the Avatar universe. For industry analysis, my shout out goes to Michelle Schusterman and her videos deconstructing all the ins and outs of traditional publishing. Then there is the business side of writing, because there's more to being an author than writing fiction and non-fiction. If you happen to know about finances for authors, marketing, cover design trends, you name it. If you know those things and you want to share some of it with your audience, that's another idea for the calendar. Lisa Daly has great videos about the business side of writing, and she also includes these topics during her weekly live streams. Thank you, Lisa, for sharing your knowledge. If you're starting your writing career, don't despair. You can make videos about your process as you self-publish your novels, or if you get an agent and get your book traditionally published, then you can make all the query videos you want. Shout out to Barrett Laurie and SD Houston. Both have made interesting videos about their writing journey with helpful information for anyone going through similar phases of their career. For an experienced indie author with more than 20 books published, check out Joey Paul, who, by the way, is the most organized and resilient author I've ever met. She has inspired my improvements on time management skills. Educational videos. This is another one where I don't have to explain the bird, because who doesn't know about owls being a symbol of knowledge? Educational videos don't necessarily build your credentials, and that's why I made the distinction. More on that overlap later. If you have plenty of knowledge on a specific platform that could help writers in any way, do it. Those are great videos for new people to find you, and if they like the rest of your backlog, they might stick around. Any useful platform works for this. Canva for writers, my video coming soon, YouTube for writers, oh hi, Notion for writers, Pinterest for writers, Ko-fi for writers. Shout out to Zara Hoffman, who is the person I would recommend for all things Ko-fi. Similar to platform tutorials, you could make videos reviewing a product or a service, somewhat related to writing or fiction. Scrivener, a smart keyboard, your experience with KDP or another publishing service, your experience with a cover designer you would like to give some exposure to, whatever it is, those are good videos to make and it helps your overall catalog. Shout out to Story Detective and his keyboard and Star Wars lightsaber reviews, among other cool gadgets. Writing craft tips and thoughts. Offended elitist in 3, 2, 1. While I want to remain professional, I don't want such narrow-mindedness around here, so have a lovely day. This isn't about giving strict writing advice. Every story calls for different techniques, and a new writer is allowed to share their discoveries and thoughts about writing craft as they progress with every new story draft. I have some writing craft videos in store for later. Author Marcus Regis has an interesting series on fantasy world building and fantasy creatures that I am happy to recommend to anyone working on their next high fantasy story. Ben Pick and his channel Running to Write is all about his writing craft discoveries combined with running and workout metaphors. Who knows what other interesting concept could come from a new writer? I think it's obvious that I'm trying to do that here, and if I can, then others can do it too. Moving on to the next type of value, which is the one I see the most on AuthorTube. It is nice to create videos that nourish your existing community, like penguins staying close to keep warm in sub-zero temperatures. The writing industry is as harsh as the Antarctic winter, and it's good to know you're not alone in your writing career. Here is where all the motivational or inspirational videos come along. Tell us about your positive experiences or help others out with a guided meditation to boost confidence. Oh, or a wellness session like Chandra Arthur, Vixen of Fiction, and Aphrodite Lee's winter writing retreat streams. Success publication stories, great experiences with an editor, or finding your critique partners. Anything positive and uplifting is a good idea that brings this type of value. Positive videos help us all at some point, and it's nice to document positive phases of your own process. Another great way to share with your community or even to find new readers is book recommendations. I know it's a bit difficult because we are writers, not booktubers. With the years, I've learned about the clear distinction between the two. So, a couple of book recommendations here and there are nice and a big value for your readers. But let's not mix this with book reviews for professional reasons. More on that in another section. A fun idea for book recommendations is Cordy's annual book awards. This is so much fun, and she collaborates with other AuthorTubers to be the presenters of each award category from the books she read that year. If you want to stay more serious for branding reasons, sure, you can share a top 3 favorite books of the month or every quarter. If you optimize your videos to be related to those books, you don't need to be reviewing them for people to find your channel. Matilda from the Nerdy Book Nerd and Hannah Palmer have some great book recommendations, plus many other writing-related videos. And of course, the most popular thing on AuthorTube these days, collaborations. Hosting and co-hosting writing sprint live streams is a staple of the niche. Here's my caveat: writing sprints are for the moment. Great for watch time, not so great for discoverability. If sprinting isn't your forte, and I relate, my friend, I can't do that too often. You could partake in tag videos, which are sets of questions that someone else creates, and other writers answer these questions in interview style. If that's still something not up your alley, then a 2 or 3 or 4-part collaboration playlist could work. You and other writers agree on covering a specific topic and link to each other's videos in the description. Whichever works best for you, it's a good place to start. Then we have entertainment. This is self-explanatory. No credentials, and maybe there is some educational value here and there, but being entertaining is all about personality and being engaging to your audience and new viewers. Something I haven't seen yet, but it's popular on YouTube at large, and I think it's a great opportunity to be discovered by new audiences, is if you have a narrator voice and the skill to act out different characters, you could have a go at a famous short story or poem. It works much better if you read works in genres that you also write. It doesn't have to be in your genre. If you want to read Poe's collection of poems and you write contemporary, hey, no problem. I'm just saying it makes more sense to those who might check out your channel after finding you through that famous piece. If you don't have a skill of narration, no worries. You could try fun skits. Please don't be afraid of criticism for having fun. Good humor requires intellect, so... I haven't done skits on my channel yet, but I've seen Hayley Haggerty's fun shorts, so she gets my shout out. Now, the next one is my least favorite recommendation, but I know it sells and gets a ton of views, so if you have anything interesting to add to the current online drama bullshit, then have your say. My issue with this is that it becomes tempting to jump on the next online drama train that pops. And that doesn't help your author brand. I'll prove to you a bit later that investing your time and energy in making drama videos isn't that helpful in the long run. It's entertaining and that's it. Let's move on to something more positive. The overlap between educational and building credentials. Here we have writing events, which I know don't happen all year round, but it's nice to keep these in mind. You could make a behind the scenes from the writing event if that's your style of video, or you can attend and make notes and share them later. Author Morgan Hazelwood's channel is full of interesting videos about her discoveries from several writing conferences she has attended or even helped to organize. Thank you, Morgan, for making that knowledge more accessible to those who can't attend all those events. Workshops is what you're thinking. Someone makes a stream or a pre-recorded video in a more practical approach to writing topics like character development, dialogue, world building, marketing, building your author website, or anything else. Author Tamara Woods hosts her stream Writers Workshop the last Saturday of every month, where she invites other panelists and they discuss a writing craft book that could be about a genre, a story structure, method, dialogue, and more. It helps Tamara keep up with her fast-growing reading pile, and it helps us all decide which craft books to read. The next overlap is between entertainment and nourishing the community. Here's where all the writing vlogs go. For those who enjoy writing vlogs, it's a nice procrastination companion. It can, of course, have some educational segment here and there, but let's be real, most of us are there for the pet videos. Seasonal trends like NaNoWriMo and holiday-themed videos also go here, because it's nice for the community and entertaining to watch. Keep this in mind if the goal of your platform is to be known for your great personality. See what I mean with not having to do all the ideas? I say this because I'm that alien. I don't do vlogs and I don't celebrate most of the American holidays, so either way, I don't have the most charismatic personality and that's not my goal. If you're like me, you could make casual writing updates every so often. That's what I do at the end of every month. The next overlap is building credentials and nourishing the community. What's that bird and what's it doing there? Say hi to my friendly Andean condor, a respected and intimidating bird of prey, yet an important symbol for many South American communities. It even has its own song, El Condor Pasa. This is a bit more difficult to create, but it's not impossible. Keep it in mind for when you've acquired more knowledge on writing craft and the genres you write in. After those years of experience, or if you're working towards becoming an editor, cover designer, or sensitivity reader as a side gig, you could offer occasional streams where you critique the works sent by your audience. Again, shout out to Barrett Laurie and his monthly critique group live streams, where several panelists give feedback to short pieces submitted by writers in the audience. It's good stuff and it helps new writers improve their skills. It's not that I want to give Barrett a billion shoutouts. He's a smart writer who knows his SEO game and is very strategic about the videos he makes. A great example for others building their platform. Another idea that could be difficult because schedule coordination is a challenge is to contact and invite a more established author for a discussion or interview with a short Q&A from the audience at the end. Once again, Barrett and Lisa Daly have done it. Someday when I have the guts, I'm contacting Mr. Magnusson. Someday. I'm not ready to take that leap, but it's a dream.
Like birds too.
Yeah, alright, but it's your turn, Miss Cockatoo. The next overlap is known as edutainment, and it's great for growing any author platform. Here, the only clear ideas that I thought about for a writer's channel were analyzing characters from TV shows, movies, or books, which I haven't seen much on AuthorTube, but it's a staple of the Avatar fans community. Another thing you can do is a versus video. You could make a comparison between anything you like. Writer platforms like Google Docs versus Word, just to name something, or first person versus third person, or yeah, sure, why not? Two characters from different stories that share things in common while also being opposites. I leave it to your own imagination. We've reached the rainbow category, or the safe zone, which is the type of videos you can make that somehow miraculously fit into all these types of value, depending on how you craft them. Here's where the famous Jenna Moressi's how-to listicles and top 10s fit. I don't think she's building credentials in the same way other writers do, but she has done it for so long that she's made every new writer believe this is how it should be done on AuthorTube. Congrats, Miss Moresi. Your channel has grown to be the gateway into the niche and a nice flock of rainbow lorikeets. There are other more interesting rainbow lorikeets, at least to me, and those are the videos where someone combines writing with another skill or concept. One of my favorites, because it helps me with research for my stories, is Caro Brown's AuthorTube Tarot readings. Story Detective also has videos where he discusses writing craft and the art of making comic books. And Becca C. Smith has some cool videos where she makes all kinds of handcrafts with designs from famous characters and stories. This could make your future videos unique and memorable. It doesn't have to be in all your videos, but it can become a thing on your channel that your audience looks forward to. Look at all the different ways in which you could bring value to your viewers. If you have something else in mind, leave it in the comments so others can see it. Because it doesn't matter how much I observe or how deep I try to research a topic, I still don't know everything. So I invite you to comment. Also, what type of birds do you send into the world? You know my answer since you saw the thumbnail. I want my flock of toucans. They are beautiful and colorful wild birds that feed mostly on fruit. But when fruit is scarce, they'll feed on anything they can find, including smaller birds and bugs. Disclaimer: despite my funny virtual toucan in this video, I don't support the idea of toucans as pets. They are very temperamental birds, and their ideal habitat is green open spaces.
Oh, well, a bird, but bird's a word. Oh, well, a bird, well, a bird is a word. Oh, well.
Whew, I watched that thing with mom so long ago, which brings me to another aspect that could help you create even more videos with the ideas I've already suggested. When we make a social media strategy for whatever platform, but especially for YouTube, we should remember that this is a search engine, which means people could find your stuff right now or who knows when in the future. The best is to plan ahead and make videos for each of the following categories. Evergreen videos could be found right now or some years later, and it doesn't matter. It's still helpful to the viewer. Your own writing or famous short story reads, writing craft tips or in-depth discussions, workshops, the business side of writing, interviews with famous authors, critique and feedback, and motivational videos are the best for the search engine and great to have in your backlog. Every city has its version of pigeons. Apparently, they don't know what migration is. Unlike Atlantic puffins, who spend breeding season in the cliff shores of the British Isles and Iceland, and then you don't see them for the rest of the year. I'm still sad I didn't get to see Icelandic puffins in person, but that's a tangent. Seasonal videos are exactly that. People search and find them depending on the season. Here's where the holiday-themed short stories can help, and all the writing events and seasonal vlogs or collaborations. Like I said before, the most popular ones are Preptober and NaNoWriMo, when a lot of people take to social media and are a bit more vocal about their writing projects, more than usual I mean. Believe me, it's like puffins for Icelandic tourism campaigns, although those bird fellas are there for a short period of time. And finally, we have trends. Blah. Sorry if you're a magpie fan. I have nothing against those birds. They are almost synonym with shiny new object syndrome, so here they are. You can see now that online drama bullshit, despite it bringing a ton of views during the trend, it's all short-lived. Here you have another reason to keep those types of videos to the bare minimum. It really doesn't help you in the long run. I forgot to add writing sprints and updates to the graph, but those are also very short-lived, just not trends. There are healthier ways to create trend chasers. Give me a moment and I'll get back to it. There is another rainbow zone in this aspect. These are the videos that depend on the topic for those formats, so you can make them all three: evergreen, seasonal, or a trend chaser. I will share these in the next graphs. These how-to listicles, tops and verses videos are very popular on YouTube no matter the niche, for good reason. They are flexible, but without a touch of your personality, it can get generic and boring fast. That's why I'm including the writing plus another skill combo in this other rainbow zone. Once you tap into that unique combination of yours, you could make your videos fit in all longevity categories. It will take practice, but it can be done. The final aspect to consider is the kind of audience you wish to attract to your platform. You could leave it as general, but it's best to think of readers in your genres. Do you want to appeal to a younger audience because you write YA? Then maybe don't do what I do. I like my deep dives because I write for an older crowd, and I feel I have a very smart audience to impress and keep interested with everything I share. Some videos work better for an existing audience, while others are crafted with the intention of bringing new people into your writing world. For this video that you're watching, it's clear that I made it specifically for fellow writers building their YouTube channels. If you're enjoying this and you find it helpful, please like the video so the algorithms know what to do with it. I appreciate it. We're not done yet. So far, this has been a positive presentation full of ideas, but it's important to discuss a couple of things that maybe aren't so nice. Here are the birds to avoid. And I've seen them around often, but it's best to stay professional and avoid these. Don't come at me with indie authors can do whatever excuse, because people will judge you regardless of being a literary agent or not. Sounds harsh, but it's true. The first is the vulture. Another song from the 60s. These are all the bad book reviews. Starting online drama or being controversial for the sake of it, and joining collaborations just to gain clout. All of these are just to gain clout. It's a bit of a desperate attempt to hack the algorithms because the drama sells, I understand. But these videos speak louder about you as a person than whatever the video is about. I dislike some popular books, and I'm open about my dissatisfaction as a reader. I don't hide it. However, you won't see another bad book review on my channel ever again. Yes, I did it, so I'm not speaking from a high nest here. It's a popular bad example, and it won't help you in the long run. Ask yourself, do you want to be known for this? The next one is the Lyra bird. Also known as the bird that can imitate any sound.
Imitate any sound.
Shut up, you're being annoying!
You're being annoying.
Ugh. These are the bird equivalent to monkey see, monkey do. You don't want to be known for that, do you? In video terms, these are the rip-offs, the stolen ideas, the copy of the copy of the copy of whichever trend is popular now, repeating buzzwords or phrases because some AuthorTuber said it and you haven't researched this at all, or worse, the copy of a visual identity or aesthetic established by someone else. While it's true that everything has been done in some way and YouTube studio aesthetics are limited by your living space, unless you're animating everything, it's still notorious when you're copying another person just because they're becoming popular. Don't make Lyra Bird videos. Do your own thing. This could go the other extreme. And here's where the goose is a problem. Trying to reinvent the wheel or trying to sell your stuff for the price of a golden egg.
Arcs are free!
Yes, Tuka, arcs are free. I'm not done yet, fella. Give me some minutes.
Fruit, glorious fruit. I want my papaya.
Other goose problems are confusing professionalism with being super squeaky clean and devoid of any personality, or notoriously trying too hard. Being hard on ourselves and trying to achieve unrealistic standards is a detriment to you, your audience, and your platform. I'm thinking those videos where writers set such unattainable goals and then lead themselves to burnout. Bad stuff. Finally, the dodo. Oh, the dodos of AuthorTube. I've given up! Linkin Park references are a thing here. Sorry. Writers quitting their platform because it doesn't grow, or writers quitting their writing projects because someone made a video telling them it's best to move on from your book because all newbie books are crap anyway, or quitting in general. This is very sad to see. Please, don't be a dodo. Being a writer is no easy task. Now, imagine being a writer and running social media stuff. Give yourself a break. It's healthy. Documenting every single time you feel like quitting, though, my recommendation to avoid this kind of public videos is to reach out to a group of trusted colleagues who understand how hard being a writer is and vent it over there if you have that level of trust. It's safer to do that instead of putting it out for the world to see and judge. Making mistakes along the way is a natural part of the process. There will be people who judge you. There will be vultures waiting to start a new hot drama. There will be all kinds of bumps in the road. Embrace the phoenix, my friends. The only way is forward. As promised, here is a playlist with all the wonderful videos by fellow writers. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope this was helpful. I'll see you in my next one, and thank you for your support.